Stan Gibilisco here, proprietor and operator and owner and proud maintainer of ham radio station W1GV Whiskey 1 Golf Victor, down in the Nerd Cave in the Black Hills of Dakota Territory, United States of America. The date, November 19, 2013. The time, 5:42 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, or, if you prefer, Coordinated Universal Time, 0042, just turned over to 0043 on the 20th of November. Well, note the frequency. Now, recently, W1AW, which we're listening to here, their code practice at 13 words a minute right now. What we're listening to here, it's interesting because you want to note the frequency. 15 meters is wide open to Newington, Connecticut at this hour. Hasn't been that way for some days. But, alas, when we go down the band and see whether anybody else is taking advantage of it, well, there we go. W6WO, probably California. That's the only other station I hear here. Well, wait a second. I can't read that. I don't know where that's coming from, but there are very few signals. But there's W1AW again. But now let's go to 18097. Now we tune up the band. Listen, nothing. A few signals, very weak. That's got to be a DX pileup right there. Not a whole lot of activity, though, considering how well W1AW is booming in. Not quite as strong as they were a few minutes ago. Let's go down to 20 meters. Now, they're not as strong here as they have been traditionally. So my first impression, this was the band I listened to first. My first impression was, oh, brother, conditions are really rotten. Well, they are in terms of the noise on this band. The human-made noise, it's awful. Not too many signals here either. They're coming in pretty good now on 40 meters. I guess as we move towards the winter, you know, we're only about a month away from the winter solstice. The sun is just about as far south as it gets. You know, it doesn't move very much around the solstices. It doesn't move with respect to the angle of the sun, doesn't change very much around the solstices very fast. It changes the most rapidly near the equinoxes. In fact, if you graph the angle of the sun versus time, you'll get a sine wave. Wouldn't you know? Representation of circular motion. That's what a sine wave is. In case you didn't know. Now, my antenna will receive some on this band, but I wouldn't try to transmit here. It's a 22-foot vertical, capacitively loaded with a 50 picofarad capacitor at the base, so it really only resonates on 20 meters. I can force feed it on higher frequencies and get some results, but the thing won't even tune here. I've tried to tune the radio on this band transmitting tuner. That brings back memories. Back in the 1970s, I was into high-speed CW. This sounds like between 35 and 40 words a minute. Not real fast. But back in that day, right around this frequency, there used to be a bunch of guys hang out, and some of them could actually read in their heads at 100 words a minute. Not many, I think there were only a couple. Several at 80 words a minute. They formed what they called the 5-Star Operators Club. I could never follow that fast. I could get the gist of what people... There's a DX pilot. Gotta be. Hear that burst of signals like that? Well, now, I don't know where that is. It really doesn't matter very much because I can't go after them. Can't get the antenna to take power here. But as I was saying, I could get the gist of CW in my head up to about 70 words a minute. But as for actually hard copying it on what they called a mill, like an old typewriter that only typed in uppercase, I did qualify at 40 words a minute. The W1AW qualifying run. But I could never put down anything faster than that. But, you know, after a while I got to be like, so what? You know? It's not like I was Michael Phelps or something and going to be swimming record-breaking swimming events like I used to dream in my Walter Mitty type fantasies. I used to dream that I swam the 100-yard freestyle in the high school championships in Minnesota in 1972 in 45.00. Well, that was a fantasy. I didn't come anywhere near that. But in my dreams, eventually dreams, as time goes by, distant memories meld into reality until sometimes you can never tell the two apart. I still can, though. Sometimes I wish I could. But I can remember that old high-speed CW. Anyhow, I'm just yammering here. It's pretty remarkable, though, that 21067. The MUF, maximum usable frequency, apparently has just fallen below this frequency between here and Connecticut. Well, you can just barely hear them now. See, that's interesting to watch when that kind of stuff happens. It's not so much fun, though, when you're having a contact with somebody, QSO with somebody, and the band goes out on you. But the band has gone out. 15 meters has gone out between here and Connecticut. So with that, I will say 73 from the Black Hills. Dakota Territory, United States of America, Whiskey 1, Golf, Victor. Until next time, so long.